Hello, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. I didn't bring a drink in. Bad move. So I'm very, very sorry that I didn't have a video um, Tuesday morning. I always do have them, as you well know. But I did hint that I was feeling a little bit overworked, I guess you could say. And all of the things that I had going on in life as well, all mounting up. And I had that day where I just felt really down. Well, not really down. I mean, I can't say I was really down, but I was just flat because, I just felt I was seeing inside of these walls and nothing else but all the yarn van. And that was all I was doing. So yesterday I went out with my grandson, Tyler. I haven't seen Tyler for a little while. The last time I saw him was when I went to his school to watch his performance where he played the drums, and I went with Michael. So that's his daddy, and yeah, that was nice. But we didn't see him for long, and then I haven't seen him since. And I did say to his mum, whose name is Gemma, would it be okay if I take him out sometimes? And she said, yeah. So, and I haven't done it up until now, but I thought school holiday, I'll message and take him out. Well, I picked bank holiday Monday because I knew I'd be busy the rest of the week. So I picked bank holiday Monday. And then at that same time, our bridge failed and the weather was the hottest bank holiday Monday on record. I mean, since records began, it broke the hottest by a long shot, because it's spring, it's not supposed to be. It's 34 degrees today or more. It's not supposed to be these temperatures at the moment. But I tell you what, it was gorgeous. It wasn't humid. And walking around, it felt like I was in Las Vegas with the sun as hot as it was as you were walking around. Now, Tyler didn't like it very much, but I took him to the cinema. I figured it's air conditioned. I'll take him to the cinema. We saw a Mario Galaxy movie. So we went in and had a Nando's first, some chicken. He was fine. But he really wanted a Happy Meal. So I said, okay, if you're still hungry on the way home, I'll get you a Happy Meal. So we went to the cinema after Nando's, but we had an hour to kill before the film. So there is a Dobby's, which is a garden centre come all of those homey kind of stuff and things shop. They sell candles, they sell fish, they sell everything. One of those, you know, but they predominantly sell stuff for the garden and furniture and barbecues and all that stuff. So we thought, come on, we'll have a look around here. So they had toys and they had stuff in there, but didn't buy anything in there in the end. Because I said, well, they've probably got some stuff in the cinema. Let's go see. So I bought him the drink cup and it come with a keychain and we went and see the film. But when we was walking to this shop, because it's one of those like an industrial complex, not say industrial, retail. So you've got like Dobby's, but everything else apart from the cinema is food related, or I think there is a travel lodge or something like that there. But there's all kinds of places to eat. But this shop is the first one you come to. So I said, we'll walk to the shop because you've got these like little back ways that are paths that lead to it, not through the car parks. So he's like, but I don't want to walk in the sun. So he kept running to all of the shade areas and he would stay there and he'd go, no, we can't go to it. Just run to the next shade. And he would run to the next shade. But for me, it wasn't over the top. I didn't mind it. The car was a bit of a challenge, Not that it overheated or anything like that. It was just hot. Everything that was in there was like hot. Seatbelt, didn't want to touch it. That sort of thing. So once I did that, he said, oh, I'll have my McDonald's. And I said, it's too early. You just not long ago had chicken. So I thought, well, okay, we'll go to the outlet. I'll buy him some Haribos because they've got a Haribo shop there. Might see Paul, my other son, but he was in the control room, so I didn't see him. But We walked around. I thought it'd kill a bit of time. It's got him some Haribos, and I drove him back to like Folkestone where he lives. Got him a McDonald's, and he ate it as we drove back to his house. So yeah, but oh yeah, and he ate most of the jelly beans. Honestly, I didn't think he would. I thought he'd be more of a picky eater, but he's not. And he ate so many chips. I can't believe. I think he takes after his mum for the love of chips, as I remember. But yeah, we had a good day. It was lovely, and it was so hot, so hot. But funnily enough, I coped. I didn't think I was a really light sun top on, in kind of summer colours rather than in black, so that helped. But yeah, oh, but I had a bit of a mission to get there. It's so funny. As I left, I got to the end of the road. Now, bearing in mind, it's bank holiday. I've got a bridge to contend with. I've got bank holiday traffic and Operation Brock on the motorway, which is where they separate all the lorries. So all the traffic goes in one carriageway. So you've got 2 lanes each, and the rest is all lorries. So bank holiday Monday traffic is going to be a mission. Get to the end of the road, and some Wally, for want of a better word, had one of these gigantic caravans, because we're surrounded by caravan sites, blocking up the road, and he was hitching it to a really small John Deere truck. So then there was enough space for me to get by, except where they'd stopped, there was a parked car right so I couldn't get down it. But I didn't know how big the gap was, and the John Deere truck came through, and this old fella, there was 2 of them, an old one and a younger one, and he sort of beckoned me to go down. So I've gone down there, and then he sort of come along and had a look, and he went, "Oh, you won't get through there, love." So I said, "No, whose car's that anyway?" And he said, "I don't know," and he walked back. So then the young one came all bolshy and aggressive, right? And he went, "Can you reverse up and hurry up about it?" And I was just, it's not my fault I'm down here, right? So I just went, "I beg your pardon." He said, "Can you reverse up and hurry up?" And I went, "Firstly, don't talk to me like that." And I was just like, you're the one blocking the road. Don't talk to me like that. Right? So I've put it in reverse and I'm coming back. And as I said that, he went, "Shut up, you fat cow." And as he was saying that and he was walking, all his fat was wobbling. So I just sort of stopped the car and I went, "What's that then?" I was just like, "Listen, what do you call that then?" "Wobble, wobble, wobble, wobble." And he went, "Duck off." And I went, "No, I won't. Wobble, 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 wobble." And I reversed back. So then they tried to hitch this thing to this tiny John Deere truck. It was going to kill it. But he tried to do it, and as he pulled away, it fell off. So I'm sitting there waiting. He's getting more and more stressed out. And then he hitched it up and he moved enough for me to get through. So as I drove slowly and he was sitting there in this truck. So I looked through there and I went, "Wobble, wobble." I just drove off. So funny. It was just, I just didn't get annoyed. You know what I mean? So firstly, don't talk to me like that. But it was, I went, "What do you call this then?" "Wobble, wobble, wobble, wobble." I thought it was hilarious, but obviously he didn't. So then I got onto the road, yeah, and the bridge was fine. I was shocked. There was 1 lane that they've shut off, but all the other 3, 2 going off, 1 coming on, all in use, right? They're just stopping lorries from using it, although they are using it because the signage isn't good enough. So I kind of got off, got all the way to Detlin, and there is a garden show on. So we've got traffic jam. I thought, great. So finally gets on the motorway, get a little bit down the road, Operation Brock. So, oh God, never going to get there. 2 hours it took me to get there. Unbelievable. Should have only took me an hour. That's because I live on the butt end of the island. So it takes me a good 15, 20 minutes to get off it. It's not even longer if you've got a gigantic caravan. I told Gary, he said, "You should report him." I said, "What do?" Who to? There's so many caravan sites and holiday parks. We would never clue who they belong to. So, never mind, eh? You didn't get the better of me. That's all that matters. Not going to get the better of me. Not a chance. Haven't got the brain power. Gary said, I thought you'd be really upset being called that. I went, no. I said, but isn't it funny how if someone is overweight, they always call you like fat? Because sorry, you're not exactly twiggy here, mate, are you? Makes you laugh. Rude. Don't like rude people, so you didn't get the better of me, and that's all I care about. So I thought it was hilarious. I've been called worse. Do you know what I mean? Not being funny. I grew up with ginger hair and freckles, crying out loud. I've been called a lot worse. So Mondays was a quote. Tuesdays was what is that? Some monster coming out the And Wednesday, another quote. As I said, my price is high. Mine too. Mandalorian. So yeah, we're all up to date with that. Let's do the joke. Oh, it was so funny. That was still right. Still makes me laugh thinking about it. Right. A woman was frustrated because her tomatoes wouldn't turn red. Her neighbour said, twice a day I stand in front of my plants and expose myself. They get embarrassed and turn red. She tried it for 2 weeks. Later, the neighbour asked, so, are your tomatoes red yet? She sighed, not yet, but my cucumbers are huge. I thought it was something where the neighbour was going to be watching through the fence. Should we do 2? Because we didn't do yesterday. My face just exploded, just for good measure. In a nursing home, the old man says to the old lady, I'm so old. I don't even know how old I am. The old lady said to him, I'll tell you how old you are. Take off your clothes and bend over. So the old man does it. She looks it over for a few minutes and says to him, you're 88. The old man yells at her, how do you know I'm 88? The old lady yells back to him, because she told me yesterday. Oh, so... Why does she want to look at his bottom? Oh, my. Well, I don't know. I don't know whether to tell you this. It's really gross. I'll tell you anyway. It's really gross. This is my disclaimer. It's really gross. When I was young and I first met Boy's dad, his nan, he had 2, but the one from his dad's side, her name was Rosena. And she had a bit of Italian in her. She was a funny old bird, but she only had one eye because this one was sewn shut. Because when she was a kid, her mum threw a fork at her and it went straight in her eye. But she was a character. So anyway, she was in hospital. She had dodgy heart. All of the family, lots of heart troubles. So we went to see her in the hospital. And she said, oh, I'm not in any hurry to get out of here. So I said, why? And she said, doctor's lovely. He's really young, very, very good looking. She said to him, I told him I had an itch down there. Oh, my God. She just wanted him to accept. She said, I didn't. Didn't have an itch, but I told him I did. Oh, God. Oh, some people never lose those urges, do they? I told you it was gross. Sorry. So you see, having a day off, I come back invigorated. I needed it, I tell you. I did have a day off, I suppose. But I've been doing something else, another little new thing that YouTube are doing, and I'm trying it out. So far, all of the little measures that I've put in are paying off. It's really kind of bolstered things. There's no win for it at the minute because it's a rolling month. Do you know what I mean? So the figures that I've kind of got are a rolling month. But if I take into, say, just do the last week, it's a lot. It is improving things a hell of a lot for me. So I'm hoping that this one does as well, because YouTube now dub me in other languages. I'd love to know what I sound like, but then they don't use my voice. So that someone in Spain could be watching me, and it could be while I'm talking, which would really be funny. But they don't get the thumbnails in their own language. So I've now been making the thumbnails in their languages, and all I have to do is change all the wording, because the rest is what it is. So obviously I've done just a few tutorials so far, because of the languages I know that watch me are French, Portuguese, Spanish, occasionally Dutch, Hindu. Well, it says India, so I mean I haven't got a clue what language they're talking about, really. So I do Arabic and Hindu, because that's sort of what, when I looked into the analytics of those videos, when they dubbed them, I think they dubbed them into Hindi, sorry, Hindi. So yeah, I kind of chose that. I did do one Dutch one, and I thought, let's see if this does bring those things up. I might do, whenever I do a tutorial, I might do that. It's quite simple to do. So another little experiment. But I don't want all these experiments to mean that I just do more and more and more and more work. You know what I mean? So yeah, we had a lovely day, and I stuck to my diet 100%, with the exception we're driving along, and he's a bit of a fiddler with my buttons. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. But he was driving along, and he's got his McDonald, he's got his Happy Meal. So he's took a bite into it, and he's just suddenly handed me a gherkin slice that's got ketchup on it. And I've got rid of all the tissue and moved everything away. So I thought, so I've took this, and I thought, what can I do with it? So I just had to eat it. And it was actually quite nice. But I thought, what am I going to do with this? So, yeah. But yeah, we're going along, and he keeps fiddling with all my buttons, because he was obsessed with one song. And it was the Minecraft Creeper song. So it took ages to find this Creeper song, because of all the Minecraft remixes that are out there, it was like, no, it's wrong. So we found it in the end, and so I just wanted to listen to it over and over again. So I kind of figured out on the display how to go back to the media, back that one, and then put the map back on. And I don't normally need the map. I don't normally need nav, but it's a distraction. You know what I mean? So I figured I will. I don't, because I actually need the nav to get to where he lives, because I don't know that little town very well. So all of a sudden, he's turned it off, did the back. Sat nav never spoke to me. So then I put the nav back on, and I thought, I'm sure I should have turned off back there. That was my turning, surely. And then all of a sudden I found myself going through the round hill tunnels. And I thought, that was my turning back there. So I said, look, we'll turn the music off for a bit, because otherwise Nanny might get lost. So, we kind of saw the nav get us back to where he lived. But yeah, it's a bit of a fiddler. He found out how to do it, and that was it. Constantly pressing, open the window, do the window up. It's like gale blowing. So it's like very distracting for my driving. So I figured the nav will help. Nav didn't help. Didn't tell me to turn off. Still, we managed to get there. It was fine. Maybe it intended me to go along the round hill tunnels, loop back on myself, and go that way. I don't know. It may well have done, because it didn't tell me to turn off. Maybe it just thought there's traffic that way, we'll go this way. I don't know. But we got there in the end. And the journey home, that was so good. There was hardly any traffic. I expected to get lots and lots of bank holiday traffic, and the only traffic I had was actually when I got back home-ish, because I thought, I'm not going to go along that motorway again. I'm going to go sort of to another, or like we've got an alternative motorway. We've got the M2, we've got the M20. So I'm not going on the M20. I'll dive through Ashford Road and I'll come out, go along the A2. It was trafficy, but it wasn't too bad. It was constantly moving. It was just people, going home from places for the day. But once we got through that, it's plain sailing all the way home because it was gone rush hour, really. So yeah, it wasn't bad. Wasn't too bad on the way back, and yeah, and I got home and Gary was still up doing his jigsaw puzzle. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to have for dinner today. I haven't got a clue. Don't think we've got anything out. I better go check. So thanks for watching. And yeah, sorry about the missing day, but I needed that day. And anyway, I'm recording this on that day. So I'm not really not having a this day. It was yesterday, which meant this day you didn't get the chat. Confused? You will be after this episode. So fine. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.